My name is Shilpa. Now, work-life balance as a topic has become almost another new buzzword in today's times, especially after COVID, where things move to work from home, work remote, and just those lines between work and home and family life, personal life and professional life, those lines just got completely blurred. And clearly there has been an impact of it. There's enough research that talks about it as well. But what is it really? And what does it look like for the person who's struggling with it? What does it look like for the organization whose employees are struggling with it? So for that, we have with us Samindra Sawant. Samindra, thank you so much for taking the time and being here with us. Really, really appreciate it. To share a little bit about Samindra, Samindra is from Mumbai and she has been practicing for the last 26 years. She is a co-founder of Disha Counseling Center that has worked both with individuals in personal capacity as well as has done a lot of work with corporates, including having workshops and seminars. So Samindra is a pro at it, and so we look forward to hearing from her on the subject of work-life balance. Samindra, over to you.
Thank you, Shilpa. Hello. And as Shilpa just mentioned, work-life balance, this is truly such a much used phrase in today's corporate world. But what does it really mean? Is it about managing your working hours well? Is it about ensuring that you keep your personal life and your professional life separate? Is it about making sure that you're spending enough time with your family? Well, it is a little bit about all of these, yet so much more. If you take a moment to notice what image the word balance conjures up in your mind. Balance is a feeling of fulfilling all our important roles in the best possible manner, isn't it? Balance is about meaningful achievement as well as enjoyment in all aspects of our life, our work, our family, our friends, and our own selves. So really, it is not about what we do or what we are doing, but it is the fulfillment, the meaning we get from whatever it is that we do. Balance is peace. Balance is poise. Balance is a sense of ease and spaciousness. So if we have to apply this to our work and our life, it basically means achieving this sense of fulfillment in all areas of our life. Simple, isn't it? But is it? This seemingly simple idea of achieving balance in all spaces of our life is actually so difficult for most of us. Think of your own life situation. What are the various balls that you are juggling in your life? What would work-life balance feel like for you? Honestly, work-life balance is a very individual thing. Yet, if we look at statistics, they are quite startling. There have been various surveys and studies that have been done to understand what work-life balance means for people and how they experience it. And in many of these surveys, about 60% or more than 60% professionals are unable to say that they are unable to balance their personal and professional commitments. These studies also show that a poor work-life balance can actually result in unhealthy levels of stress, unhappiness, and eventually reduced productivity. In fact, a recent study showed that more than 50% of millennials are basically people that are today between the ages of 28 to 40 years, they attribute work-life balance as a major reason for mental health concerns. Earlier, it used to be believed that work-life balance was actually more challenging for women, and it does continue to be so. But more and more men are also today struggling to achieve this balance. There are many factors that can contribute to create imbalance in our lives. Some of these can be personal factors, others can be professional factors, or a mix of both. If we look at personal factors, some of the personal factors that can contribute to this imbalance could be health issues, maybe our own health issues or health issues of people who are close to us, our family members. It could be financial stressors, relationship challenges, and so many other things. And of course, where work is concerned, there could be too many deadlines, too difficult work or too much of workload, not getting along with your coworkers, the amount of commute and travel that you have to do. These are some factors in your workspace that can contribute to some sense of imbalance. And like I said, in today's times, we are all juggling multiple balls in the air. And in an ideal world, we could keep our personal life as one separate thing and our professional life as completely separate thing where the two do not intermingle at all. But the reality is totally different. The reality is that they often do overlap. Ultimately, for each of us, it is how all these factors come together and how they impact us that determines how balanced or imbalanced we may feel. The bigger question is, why is work life balance so important? Why are organizations now making efforts to ensure that their employees experience work life balance? There are many, many reasons for this. I'm just going to state a few reasons which are very important or very obvious. First and foremost, work life balance has a direct impact on the productivity of employees. Employees who report having work life balance tend to be happier and more relaxed. And happy employees are productive employees. And of course, then they are able to contribute more effectively to the organization's goals. Secondly, more balanced the employees feel, the more relaxed and harmonious the organization's work environment tends to be. The office space, the camaraderie, the teamwork tends to be a lot better, a lot more relaxed when the employees feel that there is some balance in their lives. Work-life balance also positively impacts the health of individuals. We are all aware of the effect that stress has on our physical health, and having a good work-life balance negates out that stress. And last but not the least, work-life balance contributes in a big way to the mental health and well-being of the employees. Now, before we start thinking about how could we bring about this balance, it's also important to understand how imbalance can show up for us in our life. There are some very classical ways in which imbalance shows up, or in which we get indicators that there is some sort of imbalance in our life. There are some very classical physical or physiological indicators of imbalance, and these could include either headaches or body aches or all sorts of unexplained aches and pains. These could include ulcers, hypertension, muscle tension, palpitations, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath. These are some physical indicators, how stress kind of shows up in our body and makes us realize that all is not well with our life. Then there are also some psychological indicators. Some of us may respond to imbalance by becoming anxious, by becoming depressed, having concentration difficulties, becoming negative and unhappy, not having a sense of motivation for anything. So it can show up as psychological or mental challenges. And many of us respond to this imbalance or the stress that imbalance causes by engaging in specific behaviors. So there are also some behavioral indicators, the most blatant and obvious one being all sorts of addictions, whether it is smoking, whether it is alcohol, whether it is vaping, whether it is our addictions to our gadgets, to our food. So addictions is one way of how we may unhealthily cope with the stress and the imbalance. Other behavioral indicators could be irritability, constant anger episodes, disturbed food habits. We tend to crave certain unhealthy foods more and more as we feel imbalanced. Then there could be impulsive behavior, there could be argumentativeness, tendency to be judgmental, be critical. So these are all various behavioral indicators of imbalance in our lives. So what I'll suggest is it's important for each of us to know how this imbalance shows up for us. Do we tend to have more physiological or bodily symptoms when we get imbalanced? Or do we tend to go more into the anxiety, depression space? Or do we tend to show it through our behaviors? Once we understand how we respond to imbalance, it is also in turn then going to provide us with inputs into what are things that we can do, how we can get ourselves back into a place of balance. Now, it's also important to understand that creating this balance is an ongoing journey. It is a process which can be highly individualized for each person. It's not a destination that once you reach, once you have balance, you stay there like a Buddha. You don't. So you have to constantly work towards creating that balance, because there are going to be things happening in every day whether it's in your work, whether it's in your personal life, where the balance can go up and down. So all of us need to commit ourselves to abiding to this journey and making sure that we keep taking consistent efforts to be at balance and to keep bringing ourselves at balance whenever imbalance shows up. Some very easy, simple baby steps that we can take into this. Let's talk about that. I would say first and foremost is building clarity on your priorities and your goals. And this applies to both your professional goals and your personal goals. Having clarity on what is it that we want to achieve in life, what is it that is important for us, is a very good way to navigate through imbalance, through situations or times when there is a lot of stress or where there is a lot of imbalance. Another important thing is tracking and managing your time. Now, time management sounds like a much cliched, overused concept, especially where soft skills training or corporate training is concerned. Yet, I would reiterate that it is a skill that has a multiplying effect on so many aspects of your life. So, figuring out how best to use your time, how to make the most of your time, can free you up, can not only create a sense of healthy balance for you, but can free you up in so many other ways. Next is about learning to narrow your focus. In other words, and this may sound a little counterintuitive, but in my experience, I would say chuck multitasking and concentrate on doing one task at a time. Give your 100% undivided focus and attention on the task that you are doing, allowing everything else to fade into the background. Trust me, you will be amazed at both the quality of the output and the relaxed manner in which you achieve it. Yes, there was a time in the 90s and the 2000s where multitasking was considered like a super skill to have, and people boasted about how many things they can do at a given point in time. And sure, it is a skill, and sure, there are times when you may need to multitask. But when your regular day to day work is concerned, the more you work sequentially, focusing on one task at a time, the less imbalance you will experience in your life. Another very, very important thing is ensuring that your boundaries are in place. Boundaries at work as well as in your personal life. Having good boundaries also means being able to say no. And this is hard for so many of us. Yet, if we master this art of saying no, it will free up so much time and, more importantly, so much energy for us. Another important thing, and something that we tend to deprioritize, is taking breaks from time to time. Breaks in your everyday, breaks in your week, and breaks in your year. So, scheduling time for micro breaks in the day, like you've worked consistently for 2 to 3 hours, just take a 5 to 10 minute break. Get up, just shut your eyes, have a glass of water, just breathe, look out of the window, notice the greenery, notice the sunshine or the rain, whatever it may be. So, these micro breaks in the day, then breaks in your weekly schedule, which is allocating at least a day or 2 days where you have a more relaxed schedule, where you have time to do things that you like to do. Creating these weeks or breaks in your week's schedule and taking yearly breaks, whether it is going for long holidays, whether it is just taking a break and sitting at home and just relaxing and catching up on your reading, whatever it may be, whatever works for you. The important thing is to take a break. Taking a break not only helps you to recoup and recharge your energies, it gives your entire system a pause. It gives you the opportunity to recharge your energies and it breaks the monotony. Yes, for a lot of us, routine and structure works very well, but it insidiously tends to create a sense of monotony and boredom. So when you budget for these little breaks in your schedule, you allow that monotony to get disrupted. You allow freshness to come into your tasks, into your responsibilities, and that again will help you to really kind of recreate or bring back that sense of balance. So, if I have to summarize, balance does not mean doing everything, nor does it mean compromising either on your work life or on your personal life. Balance means from time to time examining your priorities and, based on your priorities, setting boundaries. It essentially means being firm in what you can do, what you cannot do, and being able to communicate that First, of course, to yourself, first to understand that, okay, this is what I can do, I'm willing to do. And then being able to communicate that in an assertive, firm, yet courteous manner to whoever it may be. It could be somebody at work, it could be even somebody in the family. Many times, family members put demands on us, which adds to imbalance. So, being able to create that space, being able to create uh, that distance between yourself and your responsibilities so that you can step back, build perspective, and eventually keep coming back to a center, to a balance that will help you to make the most and enjoy your life at the fullest. Thank you so much.
Samindra, thank you so much. That was such a comprehensive, well-rounded understanding on work-life balance. I really liked the fact that you highlighted how it shows up, whether in our body, in our emotions, in our behaviors. Our body is talking to us, basically, right? But are we listening? Are we listening? Are we picking the cues? And I think what you're also saying is to learn to know ourselves, to be self-aware, so that we can listen to those red flags that our system is sending to us and intervene, do something, right? I also liked what you spoke about multitasking. In fact, I read somewhere that it's a myth. There is no such thing as multitasking. There is, and yeah, you've got to focus on one thing at a time, and that's where you get even flow, isn't it? So that was amazing. Thank you so much, Samindra. And if there was one thing that you wanted to tell an organization as to how they can support their employees in holding this work-life balance, what is that one thing you might want to tell them?
So I would only say that investing in the employee's work-life balance will actually pay rich dividends. It will directly, like I said, it will directly impact the productivity and in turn the bottom line of the organization. So depending on the ethic and the culture of the organization, it could mean simply ensuring that people have their weekends off and they're not working on weekends, to creating little in-house activities. It could be some sessions for them, it could be outbound picnics or outbound trainings, which could also kind of bring in an element of fun, and making sure that there is a from time to time a check-in with all the employees with respect to how they are feeling about their workloads.
To create that safe space, that environment where conversation is possible about that. Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us, Samindra. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching this. And if you want to know how you can help your organization and your employees in holding this very important balance together, to know how to manage your time, to know how to hold boundaries, to know how to really take care of yourself and of your employees, do reach out to us and we'd be glad to walk this journey with you. Thank you.